So the kids just left, and it was amazing seeing them. They're really good kids. They really didn't deserve anything that's happened to them in the last year. And it's really unfair of I'm not sure how to address that person at this point. And there's legal ramifications about what I might call it. It's really unfair what that individual has done to my children and to me. Grace is so little, you know, and she hasn't seen me in 230 days. And she was really happy to be here. But I think for all three of us, there was a feeling that, you know, that it's not real, you know. It's been so long since we've seen each other that it was almost like it wasn't real. And consequently, you know, nobody knew how to act all the way. It's so unconscionable that that this happened to those two kids. And I mean, it was wonderful seeing them, but seeing how damaged they've been by this whole process, and knowing what this has done to them, and knowing that there's no real consequences for the perpetrator of this crime. And it's a crime. It's a hate crime. It's a vicious, vicious hate crime against children. And there's likely not going to be any consequences for that individual. You know, she gets to come over here in her new husband's shitty American truck and collect the kids and just go back to her life like everything's normal. And she has done horrible, horrible damage to my two children. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing the kids can do about it. And that idiot that she's with has no idea what kind of awful, awful person she is for doing this to her own children, or any of the, you know, or any of the damage that's been done to them. That's so obvious to me after hanging out with them for a few hours. It's just, there's so much pain. A 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, or a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, if you want to go back to when this first started, shouldn't have to endure that level of pain, that level of separation, that level of abuse. It's just incredibly wrong. And the fact that there's just no consequences, you know, it's no-fault divorce in Oregon. It's no-fault divorce in California. You know, somebody micro-cheating, or, you know, going out on dates with other, you know, other guys or other gals in some cases, I'm sure, you know, not in our case, but it's just like, you know, there's no consequence for that. There's no consequence for the person who destroys the family. The victims, the kids, and the other spouse suffer all of it. And there's no consequences for the perpetrator of the crime. None. She can, you know, make up this insane restraining order, you know, just like perjury, all of it. It's fine. It's fine. Just, you know, just lie through your teeth on paper in a legal document, and there's just no consequences. you know? None. And to keep a 3 and a 4-year-old away from their father for 230 days when he's begging to see them. I haven't even tabulated how much money I've spent already. And it's just beginning. And I know it's like well in excess of $40,000. I don't know where it's at really, money-wise. It's $50,000, $60,000, $80,000. I'm not really sure. But I've spent over $40,000 at least. I'd have to go back and look at everything, but I'm well over $40,000 now in the hole, just trying to get some kind of visitation of my kids. All because that greedy, manipulative, self-absorbed psychopath wants child support checks. That's what this is all about. She wants money. She thinks she's going to get money. And now she's bankrupted me. There's no way she's going to get money. I have no money to give her. I've spent literally, and now I have to pay for these supervised visits because of her ridiculous, ludicrous restraining order. I've never committed violence against anybody since I was in like grade school. I mean, we're talking like over 2 decades of never swinging on anybody or hurting anybody. And yet she still filed a restraining order, and now it's costing me $300 a visit, $350 a visit to see the kids. Every single time they come over here for 6 hours, it's $350. And I'm struggling to figure out where I'm going to come up with that money. There's one, I've got like one of the supervisors who comes, I can kind of finagle it. I can kind of wrestle around and move money around and figure it out. And but the other one, the one who's coming on Sunday, needs cash, and I don't have it. I don't have cash. I have no assets. Nothing. I've got like, you know, $50,000-$60,000 worth of credit card debt, whatever it is. I haven't actually added it all up recently. It's been too depressing. I've just been putting it off. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. It's just like, when you're this much in the hole, it's almost like, I mean, you can't stay emotional about it, or you just be an emotional wreck all the time, you know? I got to hug and kiss my kids like 1,000 times today, and that was wonderful. For them. It was better for them than it was for me, and I know how healing it is for me. And to see their faces and to know that there's some kind of normalcy here with having a relationship with Dad again is just like, you know, Everett got it right away. Everett's like, Dad's back in my life. This is how it's supposed to be. And you just saw this calm come over his face so quickly. And you could tell it was a calm that's been missing for 230 days. Probably longer. Probably since the beginning of the divorce. So, 365 days, something like that. 358 days. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. And I know that he's going to recover more quickly because he remembers and he knows what's going on, but Grace is she loves Dad so much, and she missed me so much, and she's so angry and hurt that I wasn't in her life for so long, and she's angry at me. Because that's what happens when one of the parents is cut out of the kids' lives. They blame the parent who's not there. And I would have never done this to Grace. Never in a million years would I have done this to Grace. And the fact that that petri dish that my beautiful two kids sprang out of would do this to them is just the only word that I can come up with, and I keep using it, is unfathomable. You can't even, like, the depths of depravity, of wrongness of it are so intense that you can't even begin to examine, exploring. It's just so wrong. It's just so wrong what's been done to these kids. And but they had a good time today. They got to see their new beds, and they got a bunch of new toys and new clothes, and they got to hang out with Dad, and they got their new laptops and got to put movies that they wanted on them. And I can see that the damage that's been done to Grace is never going to go away, ever. You can see the hurt that she's suffered will never go away. And that's probably true for Everett too. But with Grace, there's something else there that's just it's I mean, her dad was her world, and she hasn't seen him in almost a year. And her little reality is so shattered by what's been done to her. I'll never forgive the Petri dish for this. Never. Never. All the infidelity, all the cruelty, everything else is like, you know, that's all forgivable. But but doing this to Grace in particular, it's unforgivable. I'll never forgive her. Ever. Ever. She's not even a person. She's a subhuman. She's not even an animal. I mean, animals don't do this to a sweet little kid like Grace. It's just unthinkable, unfathomable. You can't plumb the depths of how awful it is. But I got to see the kids. So, that was pretty nice. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.